you're kind of forced to look at everybody as
As the quote says, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the bad guy.
That was so true. How's it going, YouTube? We are back. This is Aaron.
This is Mark.
And we are the Council of the Six Paths. Mm-hmm. Today, I think we've got a really, really good one for you. Let's talk about it. Was Kaguya a good guy? Or was she a bad guy? With that said, I'm going to pass this one over to Mark, and I'm going to let him start it since I actually started the last one. Let's get his point of view.
So, this is my thought. I think she's actually a bad guy. And the reason why I say that is because at the end of the day, regardless if she stopped the wars and whatever the case may be, she was still doing some sketchy stuff. She got the tree, right? And she's over here trying to get people to sacrifice themselves for the tree. She's over here like some form of crazy religion. She's like, yo, look, come check this out. You know, you can be a sacrifice to this power, this great power, blase, blase. AKA absorbing them for what they got in order to get their fruit, you know, at the end of the day. So she also wanted to make these white Zetsus to protect from the Ootsutskis. Like, well, I don't really understand what these white Zetsus are going to do. Were they just going to be a complete blanket that the Otsutskis are going to come down? They're going to be like, this planet looks like it's right for it. And then the white Zetsus is going to absorb them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was really going to happen? I don't really comprehend her logic. I just know that the way she went about it was sketchy. I mean, she cared about her sons. You know, she had some way of loving. And it makes me wonder, do the rest of them have some way of loving? Because the only ones you really see show any type of caring features is her. But either way it goes, I don't know. I think she was a bad guy. She seemed sketchy, in my opinion. Even if she was trying to protect people or whatever, she was sketchy, and she was trying to do it in a way, trying to protect herself, really, and her sons, I guess, too, in a way that was just wrong. So, in that case, I make her a bad guy.
I think Kaguya was a good guy. So, when Kaguya first came to Earth, you know, she's an Ootsutski. She's an alien. They had a life of their own that was grander than what ours was here on Earth whenever it comes to power scaling, whenever it comes to the God perception and all these things. So they actually see themselves as the human beings. We would be the animals, or even smaller, we would be the ants. All right, now, when she came here, she didn't originally just start tearing up stuff. She didn't go and try to seek power to rule everybody, even though she could have murdered everyone if she really wanted to. Let's get all the way down to it. She didn't do that, but instead, what did she do? She took time to get to know human beings. She actually fell in love, okay? All they had to do was treat her right, treat her good. Now, I'm not sure if the chakra fruit was kind of a bell or whatever, or at what point that she figured out the Ootsutskis were actually coming to Earth, but I feel like she knew that they were coming there to get the chakra fruit at any point, at any time. Now, I do have to rework this out a little bit because we do know things that happen a little bit further along, but let's just break down Kaguya. Now, her husband ended up trying to kill her for trying to protect herself, because another shady clan decided to take her and the women that served her for themselves, and she protected herself. So they went back and lied to the king and stated, oh, she killed our men after the king swore that if anybody broke this treaty, they would be put to death. So, foolishly, the king bought it, and they all went after Kaguya and were going to kill her. So she had no choice but to run to the tree in order to eat the fruit to gain the power, in order to protect herself, stop the wars, do all this other kind of stuff. That perception could have come from, okay, this is asinine that you guys are fighting like this amongst each other and are so ill-willed in the first place, okay? Because you haven't seen anything that's necessarily driving evil intent from her versus humanity. Now, also, she did want to protect the Earth because she wanted to live on Earth. She, wanted that sense of peace. So, in her mind, the other Ootsutskis are coming. They're going to attack the planet. If they come and attack the planet, everyone is going to die. There's absolutely nothing anyone can do about it because at this point, there is no chakra with any of the humans. There are no ninjas. The whole shinobi world and all that kind of stuff hadn't started. It was simply her. So what does she do? Sacrifice the few to save the many whenever you're talking about a global annihilation? Yeah, that sounds kind of rough, but at that time, I don't see much more that she could do. Would the humans agree with this? No, they would not. So in her mind, the only thing that she could do was twist them up in this religion, get them to go, sacrifice themselves for the greater good, build out this white Zetsu army. With the white Zetsu army in her powers and abilities, then she would have a way to fight back against Momoshiki and Kinshiki who were coming. She also feared these two. Regardless of how much power she had gained from eating the fruit, you gotta think Momoshiki and Kinshiki have been going from planet to planet sucking up chakra fruits. Whenever they showed the caption of them on the planet, there were multiple trees on this planet. So there's no telling how big that tree is and how many chakra fruits they actually got from it. So, if anything, she was abused over and over, first by her own husband. And then, if you think about it, Hagoromo and Hamura sealed their own mother away, who gave them the power. I'm not sure if her actions are what you would call bad or evil or justified in protection of herself and the way that things should move based off of how she was treated. Whenever she saw Naruto and Sasuke, she started crying. Thinking back on Hagoromo and Hamura, then thinking about Ashura and Indra, and then realizing, the reincarnates and the path that had been taken, but yet and still that emotion and that love within her was real. To take that from her, because it was hers, use it against her for trying to protect herself, I'm not sure if I could necessarily call that a bad guy.
Okay.
That's my take.
So, I'm going to say that I still want to classify her as a bad guy.
Okay.
Reason why is because she's still a visitor to the planet. Regardless of who's coming to get who. If you're going to just straight up start sacrificing people with a lie, at the end of the day, you're still kind of a bad person. I get that she didn't have any evil intent in her ways. And that makes sense. I like that take because, she was trying to protect not only her, she was trying to protect her son, she's trying to protect the people on Earth too. But the thing is, if you sacrifice everybody on Earth, you're not protecting the people on Earth. Just because she was sacrificing those few, doesn't mean she was not going to travel around because religions cross borders. So she could have traveled far, gotten more people, and kept sacrificing them until they were all gone except for her and her son.
I kind of have to rebut that real quick. For one reason. She didn't want anybody leaving their general area. For matter of fact, nothing was to basically exist beyond the tree. She didn't want her sons or anybody going beyond the tree. Now, if you know for a fact that regardless of what you do, there's two people more powerful than you are coming to eradicate this planet, and the only source of power, period, is you. And you got here first. Peep the game, fell in love with somebody and said, oh man, okay, this is different. I got to figure out a way to, to protect this, to keep. You don't really have many options because if she doesn't act, what happens? Everybody's dead no matter what. There's nobody to stop it. There's not even an inkling of hope unless you bring reality into it and say God or Jesus himself comes back and saves everything. But other than that, in the ninja world, there is no power source on the planet or knowledge of or ability that would be able to stop them from eradicating everybody. You have one plan. and that's for her to try to fight against them for you. It's either that or doomsday. Now that's where I draw the line at, because I get what he's saying, and I say yes, but at the same time, I have to factor in the fact that there's literally no other option. You've got two of them, not one Ootsutski, two. There's no Naruto's, there's no Sasuke, there's no chakra in the world yet.
There's a Hagoromo and a Hamura. I mean, they
Hagoromo and
they was stronger than them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
they're stronger than who?
Naruto and Sasuke. Hagoromo and Hamura.
Hagoromo at that time, what did he have? The Sharingan?
Yeah, the Renegade.
Well, I'm talking about at the time whenever they duped. No, he did have the Renegade whenever they duped her. I mean, still.
I mean, you know, it's still a protective, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. So at the end of the day, it makes sense to me. I can see it both ways. I do think that it's one of those situations where it's like, dang if you don't, dang if you do. You know, like Itachi with the whole killing his clan thing. Like it was just his, you know, own logic going with the, you know,
I got a question.
The elders.
I got a question.
Figure out how to make this work. But even if it was a plan that kind of worked, it kind of was flawed, just like her plan.
I'll give you that. That's a good point.
Even though it might work, it still got some flaws. But it is what it is, I guess. You know.
Okay, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Say her husband would have loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Say that her husband would not have tried to sacrifice her and have everybody turn on her and try to slaughter her.
Okay.
But he would have saw through the lies of the other flames, like, okay, look, y'all, or listen to her.
Let's ask her, yeah, you know.
You know, say anything like that, and give her a chance to explain her to herself and show her some care.
Do I think she would have went on the same tangent, basically?
No, it wouldn't have been the same tangent. I'm not even sure if she would have necessarily what her next move was, because she wasn't thinking about at that point going after the chakra fruit. She was thinking about cultivating zetsus to assist in her battle with her sons versus Momoshiki and Kenshiki. Now, yes, her actions for what she was doing was a little bit rough, but
no, I'm saying that if he would have loved her and, you know, didn't sacrifice her, if she didn't go on that same route, right, would she have been a bad guy or a good guy? That's kind of what the question is, right?
In a sense, yes.
I mean, I think she was still learning. I think at the end of the day, like, I mean, you can't really judge her for what she hasn't done. So I can't call her a bad guy if she's not doing anything bad. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So.
She watched the sky so many nights watching. Wanting to keep everybody safe. There's too many angles for when she got there versus to when all the bull went down. I think that says in her heart of hearts, she wasn't there to destroy everything. She wasn't there to take the chakra fruit and kill off everybody in the planet. She was wanting to stop that.
I mean,
you know, so I can't put that into the bucket of you're a bad guy. But when you get here and everybody that's here, no matter what you've done, turns against you based off of lies and farces, you're kind of forced to look at everybody as
the quote says. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the bad guy.
That was so choice.
Either way it goes, you know what I'm saying? But no,
choice.
I get it. That's a good point. I like it.
That's choice.
I mean, hey, I mean that's all we got. If you guys have any comments about that, I mean, let us know, because I mean it's a good question. Good guy, bad guy, you know, but she had her reasons, which is basically what every villain kind of has.
Really like to know. I'd really like to know as well.
If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you guys want to see more content, please subscribe. And hit the bell notification if you want to get notified. That's all we got today.
Because we in the house and we going to keep coming back.
We're going to come back.
until y'all feel like we family.
There you go. All right, y'all. Catch y'all in the next one.
Peace.